The candle trembles, shadows breathe. On the table, a mirror stands. At first, it shows only you. Then the reflection smiles, before you do. A chill grips your chest. What if that face was never yours? Welcome to another unraveling of Midnight Paradox, a journey into the mirror's deepest, darkest secret. Buckle up, because the image you trust might be the greatest lie you've ever told yourself. This isn't just a spooky thought experiment. It's a question that has haunted humanity since the first reflective surface caught our gaze. Mirrors have been portals to the soul, tools of vanity, and, for some, windows to something far more unsettling. Tonight, we're diving into the paradox of self-perception, why the person you see might not be the you think you know. Let's start with a simple challenge. Look into a mirror right now. Hold your gaze for a full minute. What do you notice? Does your face feel like a stranger's? If so, you're not alone. This phenomenon, known as the strange face in the mirror effect, is where our journey begins. Psychologists have long studied how we process our own reflections. In 2010, Italian psychologist Giovanni Caputo conducted an experiment that sent shivers through the scientific community. He asked participants to stare into a dimly lit mirror for 10 minutes. What they reported was uncanny. Distorted faces, unfamiliar features, even glimpses of figures that weren't there. Some saw monsters, others saw long-dead relatives. The longer they stared, the more their brains struggled to recognize the familiar. Why? Because your mind isn't designed to handle a static, unending view of yourself. It's a glitch in the system, a glitch we're about to exploit. Your brain is a master storyteller, constantly filling in gaps with what it expects to see. When you look in the mirror daily, it builds a mental blueprint of you, a composite of memories, emotions, and cultural cues. But hold that gaze too long, and the blueprint starts to fray. The neural pathways that recognize faces, housed in the fusiform gyrus, begin to misfire. It's like a computer glitching, rendering a corrupted file. Suddenly, your nose might seem too wide, your eyes too deep, or your expression too sinister. This isn't imagination, it's biology betraying you. And here's the hook. What if that betrayal is revealing a truth your conscious mind suppresses? Let's dig deeper. This strange face effect isn't random. It's tied to a psychological state called depersonalization, a feeling of detachment from yourself. You might have felt it during a sleepless night or a moment of intense stress, when your reflection suddenly feels like an actor playing your role. Studies suggest this happens because the brain's default mode network, responsible for self-referential thought, starts to disconnect. It's as if your mind is saying, "I'm not sure who this person is anymore." For some, this is a fleeting unease. For others, it's a doorway to questions about identity that linger long after the mirror dims. Now, let's take it a step further. Mirrors aren't just glass and silver, they're cultural artifacts loaded with meaning. In ancient Egypt, polished bronze mirrors were symbols of the soul's journey, believed to reflect not just the body but the ka, or life force. Break a mirror, and you shattered that essence, earning 7 years of bad luck, a superstition that persists today. In Japanese folklore, mirrors are yata no kagami, sacred objects tied to the sun goddess Amaterasu, but also feared as portals where yokai, supernatural beings, might peek back. These beliefs aren't primitive nonsense. They hint at an intuitive understanding that mirrors do more than reflect light. They reflect our fears. Consider this. Every culture has a story about mirrors distorting reality. In European fairy tales, like Snow White, the magic mirror reveals truths, or lies, about identity. In Haitian Vodou, a loup-garou, werewolf, can be trapped by its reflection, forcing it to confront its dual nature. These tales suggest a universal unease. The mirror might show us something we'd rather not see. And what if that something isn't a monster or a spirit, but a version of ourselves we've buried? A version that emerges when the lights go out and the questions get loud? Back to the science. The retina in your eye captures light and inverts it, sending a reversed image to your brain, which flips it back. But this process isn't perfect. Optical illusions like the Rubin vase, where you see either a vase or two faces, show how easily your perception can shift. Apply that to your face, and you've got a recipe for confusion. Add dim lighting, fatigue, or a cracked surface, and the effect amplifies. Caputo's experiment found that 66% of participants saw deformations, 28% saw a parent's face, and 18% encountered a figure from their past. The mirror didn't change, their minds did. So, who's really in control? You or the 3-pound organ behind your eyes? Let's test this ourselves. Find a mirror, any mirror, and dim the lights. Stare into your own eyes for 1 minute. Don't blink if you can help it. Feel the tension build? Your face might start to warp, your features stretching or shrinking. That's not a ghost. It's your brain rewriting the script. Psychologists call this the Troxler effect, when steady focus causes peripheral details to fade, forcing your mind to improvise. It's a reminder that what you see is less a fact and more a negotiation between your senses and your imagination. But here's where it gets personal. Have you ever felt like the you in the mirror doesn't match the you inside? Maybe after a tough day, when your reflection looks weary beyond your years, or after a compliment, when it suddenly seems brighter. This disconnect isn't just mood, it's a clue. Your self-image is a collage, pieced together from how others see you, how you want to be seen, and how you fear you might be. The mirror is a battleground for that collage, and the longer you stare, the more the pieces start to fight. Take a moment to think about your morning routine. You glance in the mirror, adjust your hair, maybe practice a smile. It's automatic, a ritual to align the outer you with the inner you. But what if that alignment is an illusion? What if the face you fix is a mask, crafted to hide doubts or insecurities? Psychotherapist Carl Rogers argued that we all have a self-concept, an ideal version of ourselves we strive for. The mirror, then, becomes a judge, reflecting how far we've strayed. When that judgment stings, the strangeness creeps in. Now, let's twist the knife. What if the mirror isn't just reflecting your face, but your soul's shadow? In medieval Europe, mirrors were linked to vanity, a sin that trapped the soul. St. Augustine warned against gazing too long, lest the reflection seduce you into forgetting God. Today, we might scoff, but the idea lingers in our obsession with selfies and filters. Social media amplifies this, turning the mirror into a public stage where likes dictate worth. Is the face you see online more you than the one in your bathroom? The paradox deepens. Let's bring in a modern angle. Neuroscientist Vilayana Ramachandran explored how the brain maps the body, using mirrors to treat phantom limb pain. Patients saw missing limbs move, tricking their minds into rewiring. If a mirror can reshape perception of a limb, what else can it reshape? Your identity, perhaps? Imagine staring into a mirror and willing a different version of yourself to appear, a braver you, a happier you. The brain might start to believe it, blurring the line between reality and desire. This brings us to a chilling possibility. What if this strange face isn't a glitch, but a signal? Some psychologists suggest it's your subconscious pushing through, showing suppressed emotions or memories. A study from the University of Amsterdam found that prolonged mirror gazing increased activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center, suggesting the effect taps into primal instincts. Could it be that the unfamiliar face is a warning, a glimpse of who you might become if you ignore your inner voice? Let's pause and reflect, pun intended. You've been reading this, maybe glancing at a mirror now and then. Try the experiment again. This time, ask yourself, who are you really? The answer might not come in words. It might come in a flicker of unease, a shift in your reflection's expression. That's the power of this paradox. It doesn't resolve. It lingers, like a midnight thought that refuses to fade. So what did you see? Was it you, or someone else peering back? This is just the beginning. In the next, we'll travel back through history to uncover how mirrors became more than tools, how they became keys to mysteries we're still unlocking. Until then, keep questioning, keep staring, because the face in the mirror might be watching you closer than you think. The air grows thick with the scent of ancient dust as you step into a dimly lit chamber, where a bronze mirror gleams under torchlight, its surface etched with symbols no one alive can fully decipher. You lean closer, and the reflection wavers, not your face, but the stern gaze of an Egyptian priest, his eyes piercing through time. Suddenly, the mirror cracks, and a whisper echoes. Look again. This isn't a dream. It's the start of a journey through the mirror's past, where magic and science collide to shape the enigma staring back at you. Prepare to uncover secrets that have shaped humanity's relationship with its own image. Mirrors have been more than tools for centuries. They've been gateways to the unknown, revered and feared in equal measure. Long before modern glass, ancient civilizations crafted reflective surfaces from obsidian, bronze, and polished stone, each imbued with meaning beyond mere vanity. In Mesopotamia, around 4000 BCE, the earliest known mirrors were made from volcanic glass, used not just to see, but to commune with the divine. Priests held them during rituals, believing they captured the essence of the gods. Break one, and you risked angering the heavens, a belief that echoes in today's broken mirror superstition. Travel further to ancient Egypt, where mirrors were sacred artifacts. Crafted from polished copper or bronze, they were often shaped like an ankh, the symbol of life, suggesting a connection between reflection and the soul's journey. The Ka, or spiritual double, was thought to reside in these mirrors, a concept so potent that pharaohs were buried with them to guide their afterlife. Imagine Tutankhamun's tomb, where a small, ornate mirror lay beside him, its surface still catching light after millennia. Was it a tool for self-admiration or a bridge to eternity? The line blurs when you consider how Egyptians avoided direct reflections, fearing they might trap the Ka if mishandled. Across the globe, in China, bronze mirrors from the Han Dynasty were inscribed with cosmic patterns, believed to ward off evil spirits. These weren't just functional. They were talismans, their backs decorated with dragons and phoenixes to harness celestial power. A legend persists that a mirror once reflected a demon's true form, banishing it from a village. Whether myth or truth, it reflects a universal theme. Mirrors as more than objects, portals to something otherworldly. This belief wasn't confined to Asia. In pre-Columbian Mesoamerica, the Olmecs used reflective pyrite to peer into the spirit world, a practice that hints at a shared human instinct to see beyond the surface. Fast forward to medieval Europe, where mirrors took on a darker hue. Glassmaking advanced, but the craft was rare, making mirrors luxury items and objects of suspicion. The church linked them to vanity, a sin that could ensnare the soul. Saint Bernard of Clairvaux warned monks against mirrors, calling them the devil's plaything. Yet, the fascination persisted. Alchemists experimented with reflective surfaces, seeking the philosopher's stone, believing mirrors could reveal hidden truths. One tale claims a 13th century mystic saw his future self in a polished shield, a vision that drove him to madness. Was it delusion, or did the mirror unlock a forbidden glimpse? The shift from magic to science began with the Renaissance. In 1267, Roger Bacon described mirrors as optical wonders, laying groundwork for modern understanding. By the 16th century, Venetian glassmakers perfected clear, flat mirrors, sparking a revolution in self-perception. Portraits like those of Da Vinci's Mona Lisa owe their precision to this technology. But the mystical aura lingered. Elizabeth I of England owned a looking glass said to show her youth, a claim blending science with superstition. The mirror was no longer just a tool. It was a mirror of the mind's desires. Science took firmer hold with Isaac Newton's work on optics in the late 17th century. He demonstrated that light reflects off surfaces according to predictable laws, debunking some magical claims. Yet, even Newton couldn't escape the mirror's allure, using them in experiments to bend light and explore the unseen. The tension between science and mystery grew. By the 19th century, silvered glass mirrors, coated with a thin layer of silver, became common, thanks to German chemist Justus von Liebig. This innovation made reflections sharper, but it also intensified the strange face effect, as people confronted their images with unprecedented clarity. Let's pause to consider the craftsmanship. Early mirrors were imperfect, their surfaces uneven, creating distortions that fueled myths. A bronze mirror from 1200 years before Common Era, found in Cyprus, shows a face warped by hammer marks. Did ancient users see gods or demons in those curves? Modern mirrors, with their precision, strip away those distortions, yet the mind still imposes its own. The transition from rough metal to flawless glass mirrors humanity's quest to control its image, a quest that often backfires. Culturally, this evolution shaped behavior. In Japan, the Shinto tradition uses mirrors in shrines, like the Ise Grand Shrine, where the sacred mirror Yada no Kagami is said to house Amaterasu's spirit. Touching it is forbidden, reinforcing its otherworldly status. In contrast, Victorian England saw mirrors as status symbols, their ornate frames adorning parlors. But seances popular in the era used mirrors to summon spirits, blending science's progress with occult curiosity. The mirror became a battleground for belief, where every reflection carried a story. Now, let's test the past's echoes. Hold a small mirror, any you have, and tilt it slightly. Notice how the light shifts, how your face changes with the angle. This play of reflection fascinated our ancestors, who saw it as proof of a dual nature, body and soul, visible and hidden. Anthropologist Mircea Eliade argued that mirrors in ancient rites symbolized the threshold between worlds. Could that threshold still exist, even in your bathroom glass? The science says no, but the shiver down your spine might disagree. The historical lens reveals a pattern. Mirrors amplify our fears and hopes. In India, Ayurvedic texts from 1500 BCE describe mirrors as tools to balance energies, reflecting inner health. In Africa, the Dogon people used metal discs to align with Sirius, believing reflections held cosmic secrets. These practices suggest mirrors were less about seeing oneself and more about seeing beyond. The paradox emerges: the clearer the reflection, the murkier the truth it reveals. Science offers clarity, but not comfort. The physics of reflection, light bouncing off a surface at an equal angle, explains the image, but not the feeling it evokes. Early mirrors, with their imperfections, invited interpretation. Modern ones demand acceptance. Yet, the strange face effect persists, bridging ancient awe and contemporary unease. Caputo's experiment, with its distorted visions, echoes those old beliefs, proof that technology can't fully erase the magic. Let's bring it home. Think of your own mirror. Is it a relic of history, carrying whispers from Egypt or Japan? Does it judge you, as it did medieval sinners, or empower you, like a Renaissance noble? The history of mirrors isn't just a timeline. It's a mirror of our evolution, reflecting how we've grappled with identity. Stare into it now. Let the light dance across your face. What do you see? History, science, or something older still? The answer might lie not in the glass, but in the gaze that meets it. Your brain is a remarkable machine, processing millions of signals every second to construct the world you perceive. But it's not flawless. When you stare into a mirror, you're not seeing reality. You're seeing a story your mind crafts. This story starts with the eyes, where light hits the retina and sends inverted images to the visual cortex. The brain flips them upright, but that's just the beginning. It cross-references with memories, emotions, and expectations, building a version of you that might not match the truth. This process, called top-down processing, means your perception is less a mirror of the world and more a mirror of your mind. Take the strange face in the mirror effect we touched on earlier. Psychologist Giovanni Caputo's 2010 experiment showed that after 10 minutes of unbroken staring, 66% of participants saw distorted features, while 28% glimpsed a parent's face and 18% encountered a figure from their past. Why does this happen? The answer lies in a phenomenon called neural adaptation. Your brain's face recognition system, centered in the fusiform gyrus, gets tired of seeing the same image. It starts to misfire, filling gaps with random data, sometimes pulling from memory, sometimes inventing outright. It's like a painter running out of colors, splashing whatever's left on the canvas. This isn't a rare glitch. Neuroscientists call it the Troxler effect, where prolonged focus causes peripheral details to fade, forcing your brain to improvise. Try it now. Stare at your reflection's left eye for 30 seconds without blinking. Notice how the edges blur, how your nose might seem to shift. That's your visual system tuning out the stable input, leaving your imagination to fill the void. It's a survival mechanism. Your brain evolved to detect change, not sameness. But in a mirror, where nothing moves, it rebels, turning your face into a playground for distortion. Let's dive into the science. The fusiform gyrus is part of a network that identifies faces, honed by evolution to recognize threats or kin. When you see your own face repeatedly, this network overcompensates, leading to what's known as the uncanny valley effect, familiar yet alien. Add dim lighting or fatigue, and the effect intensifies. Your amygdala, the brain's fear center, kicks in, interpreting the strangeness as a potential danger. This explains why some see monsters or ghosts. Your mind is screaming, "This isn't right," even when it's just you. But it's not all fear. Your emotions play a huge role. Ever notice how your reflection looks sadder after a breakup or brighter after a win? This is called mood-congruent perception. Studies from the University of Glasgow show that your emotional state can alter facial recognition, making your mirror image align with how you feel. After a stressful day, your brain might amplify tired lines or a frown, reinforcing a negative self-image. It's a feedback loop. You feel bad, you see bad, you feel worse. The mirror becomes less a reflection and more a mood ring, colored by your inner world. Now, let's explore how this shapes identity. Psychologist Carl Rogers introduced the concept of the self-concept, the ideal version of yourself you strive to embody. Your mirror is the battleground where this ideal clashes with reality. When the two don't match, say, you see a tired face despite feeling ambitious, discomfort sets in. This dissonance can trigger depersonalization, a state where you feel detached from your body. You might think, that's not me, as your brain struggles to reconcile the image with your self-narrative. It's a subtle betrayal, but a powerful one. Let's test it. Dim the lights and stare into your mirror for 2 minutes. Focus on your eyes, letting your thoughts wander. What happens? For some, the face warps into a stranger's. For others, it evokes a memory, maybe a childhood version of yourself or a face you've forgotten. This isn't random. Neuroimaging studies, like those from the Max Planck Institute, show that prolonged self-gazing activates the default mode network, which handles self-reflection. When this network overloads, it pulls from the hippocampus, your memory bank, blending past and present into a new face. This blending isn't always benign. Trauma survivors often report seeing altered reflections, a phenomenon linked to post-traumatic stress disorder. The brain, overwhelmed by past pain, projects it onto the mirror, creating a distorted self as a coping mechanism. A 2015 study in Journal of Traumatic Stress found that 40% of PTSD patients experienced this during mirror exposure therapy. It's as if the mirror becomes a screen for the mind's unresolved chapters, forcing you to confront what you'd rather ignore. But what about the positive side? Mirror therapy, used by neuroscientist Vilayana Ramachandran, helps amputees overcome phantom limb pain by tricking the brain into seeing a missing limb move. The mirror reflects the intact limb, rewiring neural maps. Could this work for identity? Imagine staring into a mirror and visualizing a confident you. Could your brain adapt, reshaping your self-image? Early research from the University of California suggests yes, with mirror exercises improving body dysmorphia in small trials. Your mind might be a fakeness factory, but it's one you can reprogram. Let's push the boundaries. What if the stranger in the mirror isn't a glitch, but a signal? Some psychologists propose it's your subconscious breaking through, showing suppressed traits or desires. A 2018 study from the University of Amsterdam found that mirror gazing increased amygdala activity, hinting at primal instincts at play. Could that eerie face be a warning, a version of you that emerges if you stray from your path? It's a chilling thought, but one worth exploring. Your brain's role doesn't stop at perception. It influences how others see you too. The mirror exposure effect suggests that familiarity breeds liking. People prefer faces they've seen often. But when your brain distorts your reflection, it might project that distortion outward, affecting social interactions. Ever feel like others perceive you differently after a bad mirror day? It's not paranoia, it's your mind's ripple effect. Let's bring it personal. Think of your morning routine, brushing your teeth, fixing your hair. That quick glance is your brain calibrating its story. But linger, and the story unravels. The face you see isn't fixed. It's a negotiation between biology and belief. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire, means this negotiation can change. Meditation studies show that regular self-reflection alters neural pathways, shifting how you perceive your image. Could staring into a mirror daily reshape your identity? Now, imagine a night where you can't sleep. You sit before the mirror, lost in thought. Your face shifts, sometimes young, sometimes old, sometimes not yours at all. This isn't madness. It's your brain's raw data, unfiltered by routine. The mirror becomes a portal to your mind's depths, where the fakeness isn't a flaw but a feature, a tool to understand yourself. So stare again. Let your mind wander. Watch as your reflection dances between truth and illusion. Your brain is the first fakeness, crafting a you that's part memory, part dream. What does it show you now? A friend, a foe, or something in between? The answer lies in the gaze, where science and mystery blur into the face you call your own. A soft ping echoes from your phone as a selfie filter transforms your face. Smoother skin, larger eyes, a smile that isn't yours. You stare, captivated, until the screen glitches, and for a moment, the face isn't human at all. Your breath catches as the realization hits. The technology you trust might be stealing more than your image. It's rewriting who you are. Welcome to the digital age, where mirrors aren't just glass, but algorithms, and your reflection is up for grabs. Let's uncover how the tools you use every day are turning your identity into a puppet show. In the 21st century, mirrors have evolved beyond physical frames. Your smartphone, laptop, and social media are new reflective surfaces, each capturing and reshaping your image with precision. The selfie revolution, sparked by front-facing cameras in the early 2010s, changed how we see ourselves. By 2025, billions of selfies are uploaded daily, each filtered through apps like Facetune or Snapchat. These tools don't just enhance, they reconstruct. A 2021 study from the University of Southern California found that 78% of users prefer their filtered selves, suggesting a shift where the digital you overshadows the real. This transformation begins with facial recognition. Algorithms, powered by artificial intelligence, map your face in 3D, tracking over 80 points, eyes, nose, jawline, to create a digital twin. Companies like Clearview AI use this data to identify people from a single photo, a technology now employed by law enforcement worldwide. But it's not just security. Social platforms like Instagram and TikTok use these maps for targeted ads, tailoring content based on your digital face. Every like, every scroll, feeds the algorithm, building a profile that might know you better than you do. Is this convenience or a theft of your essence? Let's explore the filters. A swipe adds a puppy nose or ethereal glow, but the tech goes deeper. Machine learning adjusts skin tones, erases imperfections, and even predicts your ideal look based on trends. A 2023 report from MIT Media Lab revealed that these filters use neural networks trained on millions of faces, creating a homogenized beauty standard. The result? Your reflection becomes a corporate ideal, not your truth. Teens, especially, are affected. Studies show 62% of 13 to 18-year-olds feel pressure to alter their images, linking filtered selfies to body dysmorphia. The mirror you hold is no longer yours. It's a canvas for Silicon Valley's dreams. Now consider the darker side, deepfakes. Using AI, creators can superimpose your face onto anyone's body, crafting videos so real they've fooled politicians and celebrities. By 2025, deepfake technology has advanced to real-time applications, with apps like Zayo in China allowing instant face swaps. A viral case last year showed a user's face on a stranger's body in a compromising scene, shared without consent. The victim's identity was hijacked, proving that your reflection can be weaponized. The mirror isn't just distorting. It's duplicating, spreading versions of you beyond your control. This digital theft extends to data. Every photo you upload, tagged, geotagged, analyzed, feeds a vast network. Facial recognition systems, like those from Amazon's Rekognition, store these images, often without explicit permission. A 2020 ACLU test found the system misidentified 28 members of Congress, raising alarms about accuracy and privacy. But the real concern is permanence. Your digital face lives forever, outlasting your physical one. Historians of the future might know your filtered smile better than your real laugh. Is this a legacy or a loss? Let's test it. Open your phone's camera and apply a filter, any filter. Watch as your face shifts, sharper jaw, brighter eyes. Now remove it. Does the unfiltered you feel off? This dissonance is intentional. Tech companies design filters to create dependency, a psychological hook. A 2022 study from the Journal of Consumer Psychology found that users spend 30% more time on apps with AR filters, trapped in a cycle of enhancement. Your mirror, once a private space, now reflects a corporate agenda, nudging you toward perfection you can't achieve naturally. The impact hits identity hard. Sociologist Sherry Tickle argues that digital tools create a second self, where online personas diverge from reality. Your Instagram face, curated, flawless, might clash with the tired eyes in your bathroom mirror. This split can lead to identity fragmentation, where you're unsure which you is real. A 2024 survey by Pew Research found 45% of young adults feel disconnected from their unfiltered selves, a trend tied to social media use. The mirror becomes a battleground, pitting the authentic against the artificial. But it's not just personal. Governments and corporations exploit this. China's social credit system uses facial recognition to monitor citizens, linking your face to behavior scores. In 2025, similar tech is piloted in Western cities, tracking public movements via CCTV. Your reflection, once a private moment, is now a public commodity. A leaked document from a tech firm last year revealed plans to sell emotional data from facial expressions, turning every smile into profit. The mirror isn't yours, it's theirs. Let's push further. What if AI doesn't just steal your image, but reshapes your mind? Virtual reality, VR, and augmented reality, AR, create immersive mirrors where you can inhabit avatars. By 2025, Meta's Horizon Worlds lets users craft digital bodies, some so lifelike they blur into identity. Psychologists warn of avatar drift, where prolonged use shifts self-perception. Users start seeing their virtual selves as primary. A case study from Stanford showed a participant adopting their avatar's confident posture in real life after months in VR. Your brain adapts, merging the digital with the real. Is this evolution or erasure? The tech isn't static. Real-time face swapping, pioneered by apps like MyHeritage's Deep Nostalgia, animates old photos, giving life to the dead. Imagine seeing your grandmother wink back, or a future you, aged by AI. This power to manipulate time challenges mortality itself. A 2023 ethics panel debated banning such tech, fearing it could distort historical truth. Your reflection becomes a time machine, but who controls the destination? Let's bring it personal. Think of your last video call. Zoom's touch-up feature smoothed your skin, hid your exhaustion. Did you feel more confident or less authentic? This trade-off is the new mirror's promise, enhancement at the cost of truth. Data from Microsoft shows 60% of users prefer enhanced video calls, a trend that's normalized digital facelifts. Your face, once unique, is now a template molded by code. The paradox deepens with surveillance. Smart mirrors, marketed for fitness or skincare, scan your face, tracking age, stress, even heart rate. By 2025, models like Hi Mirror analyze 100+ data points, feeding results to apps. Convenient, yes, but also intrusive. Your reflection reports to the cloud. A hack last year exposed 10,000 users' data, proving the mirror's dual role, ally and spy. Every glance is logged, every flaw cataloged. Yet, there's resistance. The no-filter movement pushes back, celebrating unedited faces. Artists use AI to expose its flaws, creating glitchy portraits that reclaim identity. A 2024 exhibit in Berlin showcased broken mirrors, digital art reflecting distorted selves as rebellion. Your mirror can be a weapon against the theft if you choose to wield it. So look again. Open that app, apply that filter, then turn it off. Feel the shift? Your reflection is a battleground where technology steals and reshapes. What do you see? Are you crafted by code, or are you fighting back? The answer lies in the screen, where the digital mirror holds your image and your soul hostage. The mirror reflects not just your face, but the infinite possibilities of who you could be. Let's dive into a paradox that challenges the very core of your existence. Quantum mechanics, the science of the very small, has long baffled even the brightest minds. Developed in the early 20th century by pioneers like Max Planck and Niels Bohr, it describes a world where particles exist in states of probability until observed. Apply this to a mirror, and the implications are mind-bending. When you look at your reflection, you're collapsing a wave function, choosing one version of reality from many. But what if those other versions linger, unseen, in parallel dimensions? The idea sounds like science fiction, yet it's rooted in the many worlds interpretation proposed by Hugh Everett in 1957. This interpretation suggests that every quantum event spawns alternate realities. When you decide to smile or frown in the mirror, a parallel you might choose the opposite, creating a branching timeline. By 2025, experiments at CERN's Large Hadron Collider have hinted at these overlaps, with particles behaving as if influenced by unseen counterparts. Imagine your reflection as a portal, showing not just you, but every you that ever could be. That stranger's face you glimpsed? Maybe it's a version of you from a world where you took a different path. Let's break it down. Quantum superposition allows particles, like electrons, to exist in multiple states simultaneously. Schrödinger's famous cat, alive and dead until observed, illustrates this. In a mirror, your image is a photon bouncing off your face, collapsing into a single state when your eyes register it. But before that collapse, the photon holds all possible reflections. Physicist David Deutsch argues this implies a multiverse, where each possibility plays out. Your mirror, then, might be a weak window into those other worlds, distorting your face with their interference. The math backs this up. The Schrödinger equation, which governs quantum behavior, doesn't specify a single outcome. It describes a wave of probabilities. When you observe your reflection, you select one wave, but the others don't vanish. They branch into parallel realities. A 2023 study from the University of Oxford used quantum entanglement to suggest these branches might interact faintly, causing the strange face effect we've explored. That eerie grin or unfamiliar eye. Could it be a bleed-through from another you? Philosophers have wrestled with this. René Descartes, I think, therefore I am, assumes a singular self, but quantum theory challenges that. If you exist across multiple states, which I is the real one? Existentialist Jean-Paul Sartre might argue it's the one you choose, but the mirror suggests choice is an illusion. Your identity might be a collage of all possible selves. This paradox hits hard when you stare too long, as your brain tries to reconcile the singular with the infinite. Let's test it. Dim the lights and gaze into your mirror. Focus on a single feature, your mouth, say, and imagine it moving differently. Picture a parallel, you smirking while you stay neutral. Feel the tension? Some report a flicker, a shift, as if the reflection responds. This isn't proven science, but it aligns with quantum observer effects, where consciousness might influence outcomes. A 2024 experiment at Caltech found that human observation altered quantum particle behavior, hinting that your gaze could shape your reflection's possibilities. The implications are wild. If parallel selves exist, your mirror might show a you who succeeded where you failed, or failed where you thrived. A 2025 simulation from MIT modeled multiverse interactions, suggesting emotional resonance could trigger these glimpses. That sadness you felt staring into the glass. Maybe it's an echo from a you grieving a lost love in another reality. The mirror becomes an emotional conduit, not just a visual one. But there's a catch. Quantum decoherence, where environments collapse possibilities into one state, limits these interactions. Your room, your body, all dampen the quantum weirdness, making parallel faces rare. Yet, in the quiet of night, with distractions gone, the effect might strengthen. Caputo's mirror experiment, with its distorted visions, could be evidence of this, as dim lighting reduces decoherence, letting other realities peek through. Let's push further. What if the mirror isn't reflecting light, but consciousness? Some quantum theorists, like Roger Penrose, propose that consciousness itself is quantum, tied to microtubules in brain cells. If true, your gaze might resonate with parallel minds, creating those stranger faces. A 2023 paper from the University of Arizona explored this, linking mirror gazing to altered states where participants felt connected to other selves. It's speculative, but the mirror's role as a mental lens grows intriguing. History offers clues. Ancient shamans used reflective surfaces, obsidian mirrors, to enter trance states, believing they accessed spirit worlds. Were they tapping into quantum branches? Modern psychonauts, using isolation tanks, report similar phenomena, seeing alternate faces. A 2022 study in consciousness and cognition found 35% of participants experienced this, suggesting a universal mechanism. Your mirror might be a primitive quantum device, revealing what science is only beginning to grasp. Let's bring it personal. Think of a decision you regret, taking a job, ending a relationship. Stare into the mirror and imagine the you who chose differently. Do you see a hint of that life? Your brain, wired for narrative, might project it, but the quantum twist suggests it could be real. Neuroplasticity allows your mind to adapt to these visions, blending them into your identity. A 2024 UCLA study showed that visualizing alternate selves improved decision-making, hinting at a practical use for this paradox. The stakes rise with technology. Quantum computers, emerging by 2025, could simulate multiverse interactions, potentially projecting parallel faces into mirrors. A prototype from IBM last year displayed faint overlays, sparking ethical debates. Should we unlock these visions or leave them buried? Your reflection might soon show not just you, but a gallery of possibles, each a mirror of a life unlived. So look again. Let your mind drift to what might have been. Watch as your reflection wavers, hinting at the infinite. The quantum mirror doesn't just reflect, it fragments, offering a you that's both singular and countless. What do you see? A truth, a lie, or a bridge to the unknown? The answer dances in the light, where your face holds the secrets of the multiverse.